Okay, thank you for having me on the session. So today I'm going to discuss about one of the development of our application about around budget control. So we have in the past. So let's say first why do we need the budgeting? So in a very short description, I think everyone understand that the budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money, right? Then the easy way to call the plan is we call it budget, and the spending can be called actuals. The budget and the actuals tell us the performance of our organization, and actually that is everything that's all about budget, right? So we want to have the budget, and we want to know how good we perform, and that is everything that we need. But why do we need another budgeting module? Actually, when we start with the government sector, we start to find that if you talk about budgeting, as I mentioned before, it was everything that Odoo have until now. It has something that you can give some budget numbers, and you can execute it in the using analytic account, and that's all that Odoo have until now. But when we start with our government project, many years back, we found that it is something that is not quite usable in the government. Sorry. Okay. That time our government customer, if you see, I think everyone recognized NSCDA as our platinum sponsor, right? A couple of years back. Actually, they have been sponsoring us for many years, but for the COVID, so that they have to stop. But anyway, they was at a time using SAP for their budgeting. And when we approach, and we can say that Odoo has nothing to do with budgeting at all in terms of government. And that's why we have to start building things from scratch at the time. We have to say, I want to use this time to say thank you to our customer and STDA also, because they are very supporting, and in fact they are the person who give us a lot of information, a lot of knowledge about how budgeting should be working. So at the time we done it in Odoo version 8, but I must say it was it's like too specific to be used for the generic or to be in the OCA. But luckily until now we have another customer so that we can repeat our knowledge, and we have to say thank you to this organization as well, that they not only that they know Odoo, but they also appreciate OCA, and so that they also tell me to give the full support to the OCA, so that we can make things more generic, and they have to be patient. They're very patient to use it in the way that OCA to be in the generic part of the OCA. So now we have the module. Right now we have it in the version 14. Okay. Next, I will try to explain a little bit why we need such a big set of modules in order to complete the budgeting life cycle for the government. First of all, I have to say that the budgeting cycle can be very varied by organizations, right? But generally, I have to say like this: most of the time, that will be in the cycle starting from if you think about a big enterprise, so there are a lot of departments and they have to allocate it. In this case, I will talk about the government in particular, but of course it can be applied to other kind of organization as well. Okay, firstly, normally they will have an enterprise level strategic planning. So the budget will go through a round of approvals, right? People can maybe done it by Excel or whatever. So, but at the end of the day, they have to decide. They may have a big amount of money. They have to ask from the central government, and then the central government give back an amount for the budget for the entire organization, and they have to distribute it back to the lower level. So we call that one as like enterprise level strategic planning. And then once each organization, each smaller unit in the organization, whether it can be the department or it can be the project. So they have to lay out, go into the planning into the detail level, right? Maybe they can have multiple revisions on their own before they can know exactly what they want to consume, what amount of budget they use in which KPI in that year, right? Once the detailed planning is confirmed, so the money can be used in the real execution. And then the next phase is called budget execution, which is basically the consumption of the document, budget consumption on the document, like when we use PR, when we use PO, purchase order, right? When we confirm it, we want to make sure that it consumes some budget. Reserve, I would say reserve some budget. In the budgeting terms, we call it budget commitment, right? And then at the same time, we have to be able to monitor everything in real time on how much money has been spent into which category, into which KPI. And then we can do the budget locking if there's not enough or insufficient money to use. So the budget system has to control the money. At the same time, we don't want to revise the plan all the time, but we can sometimes transfer the money from between projects or units altogether, right? Until there's a time when there's like some revisions or like some strategy from the top down. They may want us to go back to the enterprise level planning again to readjust the budget amount and then push it back to the downstream. So it's going to be like this in the year of the budget year, what I call budget year. And then at the end of the year, that could be like budget year-end closing. You can think like we have account closing, right? Yeah, that could be similar because at the end of the year, we also want to close that everything that is have a good sense of number and being able to do the budget commitment carry forward. Like we have something pending in this year, but we want to carry it to commit the budget in the next year, right? Or we want to have the like budget balance carry forward, right? The remaining amount of this year, maybe if you want to carry it to the next year, then there's a process on that. So this is the whole idea of why we need another set of budgeting modules, right? Okay, so let me explain a little bit about the new module. We call it budget control. So basically, it is a new set of OCA modules that target to complete the budget life cycle, and it actually internally leverage the power of MS Builder and the MS Builder budget created by Stefan from Exxon, right? I want to say thank you for that also. So we are using that as the core engine because we also already see that something has been implemented in terms of making the budget figure. So we use it internally in our modules, and we came up with a lot of more features, basically to shield the MS Builder and make it easier to use. So for example, we will have the new windows, new object like budget period, right? To set up the budget year for every year, we may have like one period. We have budget plan and breakdown from the top down to allocate money into the small business unit. We have something called budget control sheet that ensure that every subunit in the organization, like project or department, they have the good control sheet to plan for their use budget. We have like budget transfer windows so that people can easily, if the management or the head of the unit agree upon, they can make some funding transfer. There's some like budget revisions so that everyone can keep track of the old revisions. Like we can log the budget, we can monitor the budget, and we can have year-end closing. Yeah, something like that. And there's actually more because this is the main, I call it the base module that make it work for the full cycle of budgeting. But certainly there are more, because when we face in the real project, it's a lot more complicated than that. But aside from this talk, I will put some link later on. But we focus on the core, the basic module first. Okay. So today what I plan to do is to just straight to the demo. I will demo like a company A. I will create like a new company and a new Odoo database that we want. Let's say we want to track the budget for period of 2021. Let's say we want to track department administrative and assistant, right? Each have some budgets on hand, right? And then we will have, you will see that we will prepare some of the KPI based on MS Budget Builder. Actually, we already created, and there are some KPI that we want to use it as you see in the screen. Then we start from scratch, from the beginning, that we start to allocate the budget, consume the budget, review the budget, transfer budget, and do the year-end closing. All right. Okay, that is my plan of what I want to show to you today. Okay. All right. So let me head back to the application. So first of all, for example, this is like almost how to say, new database starting from scratch, and I just installed the budget control module already. First of all, we come to the settings, and if we go into the budgeting, there's a section that first we have to say, we have to tell the system that in this system, in this company, we want to control which kind of documents. For example, in this setup, I want to control the accounting documents like vendor bills or journal entries, the purchase document, expense. That's it. Maybe today I want to focus on these three kind of documents. And then we have the budget KPI template that I mentioned about. I will click into it. We have a budget KPI demo. If you see this, you will notice that this is exactly what MAS Builder is all about. So we set up some KPIs. If anyone doesn't know about the MAS Builder, I think it's a very good module, and you can understand, learn about that module first, and then you can understand this one easier. So for example, this one we have the KPI to control three kinds of spending. This is based on the accounting. All right. Back to the setting. So we want also to deploy the budget plan and budget transfer also. So that's it. We after we finish this, Odoo will install the required module for the budgeting. So we have a new budgeting menu like this. Okay. So then the first thing you want to do is that you want to ensure that you already created the date range, so that you have something to work with. Like if you want to work in 2021 as like in quarterly, you can make it like on the date range first. For the date range, I think many people are already familiar, right? I already created some of the date range here for the 21 and 22 in a quarterly basis. All right. Then I go back to my budgeting, setting the new budget period. For example, I want to set, here's the budget period for 2021. The date is from so we want to make for this year as a quarterly, and we can say that whether we want to control the budget, if the budget is over, or we want to control every department automatically, or we just want to control only some departments and the project by the analytics. And the level of the control, whether we want to control the amount by the department, or we want to control at the deeper level on the KPI level. So we can configure it here. right? Then we just save it. That's it. And then if you click into the preview, you start to see that right now the MS Builder is already function. It already created for you the MS report that right now you see the KPIs and you see the the each kind of budget, like but the budget amount, the purchase, expense, actual, and how much is available. So this is pretty fine for you. Okay. And then, okay, let's say we have the budget plan created. Then after this, maybe the external internally each unit have their meetings and then before the starting of the new year 2021, they have come up with the plan, already get the final figure or the number, the amount of each allocate for each unit to use. So we create a plan, plan 2021 for the budget year 2021. Okay. And then let's say right now we want to have two departments like administrative department and assistant. Okay. So let's say we have like how much money that is finally allocated. Let's say I have 10,000 US dollar for administrative and 20,000 for assistant. Right. Okay. After this, then we can push the number to create a budget control sheet. Okay, we just review everything. If everything is okay, the number is okay, then create and update budget control. The system will then create the new object, the new windows called budget control sheet. You see the number is still in red because obviously there is no budget has been allocated in this sheet yet. On each of the sheet, we can also tell it what kind of the KPIs, what kind of the KPIs that you want to use for this unit, right? So let's say we use all of them. We can click on the hard reset button, and then it will create a budget item for you internally. But on the top, user can always actually, we also have the module, the Excel module that can export this one into the Excel, and then people can put in the number in Excel and then import it back. But for now, let me just put some number in. Okay. Okay, then we can start submit and the control. So right now, if we click control, then everything is done. So the budget control already start and any document that use this can only use up to this amount of money. Okay, let me do another one also. Let's say this one we only want only expense. We submit it and make the control. Okay, for now, if we look into the preview, you can see that for this unit, we have this amount of budget and it's still available, right? So let's go into give some document execution. For example, I come to purchase document that I also want to control it, right? I give some amount of money. So let's say I want to put it like 10,000. I want to show that for the administrative, right? So we have small icon here. If you click at it, you see that currently we have the budget around have the budget of 10,000, but we haven't used it. But right now we try to use it like 10,001. So if I confirm it, the system will confirm to me, give the error message to me that the budget is not enough, and so I had to reduce the budget, like let's say 500. Then we confirm it, and if you can see that this is the core of the system, what it does is that it create a new budget move. We call it budget move, and a debit 500 on it, right? So if you go and look into the budget report, for example, for this particular budget control sheet, administrative. So you still see that right now the budget is like 10,000 and commit PO at 500, right? But if I let's say I receive the items and then we create a bill. Let's say I want to confirm it. Let's say I want to confirm it like 0.8. Then I confirm it. Okay, sorry. So now we can see that when we confirm the document, we have the budget commitment. Actually, we should call it budget actual because it's the final actualization of the consumption of the budget, 400. So, and then if we look back into the PO, we can say that we can see from here, just like accounting system, that is a credit, something that already happened in the accounting, 400, right? And so if you look into the budgeting report again, right now you can see like some movement is happening. This is really something that is done by the system. So the same thing, we can do it also in the expense. I'm not sure how much time we have left. Okay, we have 20 minutes left. So let's say I also create like, let's say I use expense. Same thing, expense when you approve the document. Oh, sorry, I didn't. We have to also choose the. Let's say I want to choose a suspect for now for this time. Then we create a report. We submit it to the manager. Then we approve it. Here you go. The same things happening for every each of the document that we want to make the control. So we have this kind of budget commitment. Then we post the entry, which already created the journal entries, and then it's giving me back the amount. So right now, if you look into the report, you see that the budget already committed into the vendor bill, 700, right? Okay. So I think this is the main idea of this module. So let me switch back to some of the more database with more transactions. Let's say we have done some of the transaction already, and then time passed by. We can always come back to the budget monitor. And then once we have a lot of transaction, then you can come back here and see a lot more details. Like if you want to see this by reference document, if you want to see this by quarter, and if you want to see it by types, like this. So we have everything from the transaction in place, and we can even drill down to see what is happening in each amount consumed by the budget. Okay, and with a lot of details that we can capture, we can also give some of the report that is maybe more useful, like the report that explain how much money has been planted in the blue color, and how much money has been used in which category in the system, right? Okay, let's say there are some needs for the money from one organization to organization, so we want to do some budget transfer. Okay. So we create the budget transfer, and for the soft example, we can see that right now we have from the administrative department, we have this amount, and we want to transfer like 323. If you save it right now, the system will tell you that the budget has to be back into draft state first, so that we can transfer some amount of money. So we go back to the system. Each of them will go back and make some change the stage of the document back to draft. And then we can make now the transfer. Okay, transfer. Okay, if we go back to budget control sheet, now that we have already transferred 311 to each organization. So when I reset back to red again, because the amount of that they have is not equal to what they are planning, the amount of the release amount that they have finally. So we have to, let's say, we have to give some amount like 321, so that right now is equal. And then we can once again back in control. Okay, so this is how the things is working. Let's say I put some difficult number. Let's say I want to make this one also. Oops, sorry. So when the number is equal, we can submit and make it back in control. Okay. So right now, if you see from the slide here, we have been playing around with the enterprise level strategic planning, allocate the amount of the budget into the lower level. So everyone can make some planning, detailed planning for themselves. And then we make it in control. Then we start the budget execution, the budget consumption on each document, make some monitoring so that people can readjust their budget. And then we have done some of the transfer of the amount of the budget from one unit to another unit. Then lastly, we have to go into the budget year-end closing part. Right? Let's say everything is happening along the way. Now it's reaching the end of the year, and people have to start to think that, like, how much money they have been committed to purchase or to do the expense, and they want to now carry it over to the new year. So we also have a module to do the budget commitment. May I just quickly make it to you? So let's say this
Kitti,
one.
I'll just see. We're just starting to run a little bit over time, so.
Okay.
But I think we're all interested to see the year-end closing. So if we can get through that quickly, you're lucky you've got a break following. But yeah, just so.
Okay, let me switch back to the slide first, because I already document everything on the slide as well, so that we can quickly talk about it. So how much time do we have left right now?
Roughly -2 minutes. You've gone well over budget.
Okay, sorry. I talk about budget, but I gone over the budget. But anyway, let me say this really quickly. We just what we try to do at the end of the year is that we want to move the commitment number from year 2001 to year 2002, and the available balance from 21 to 22 as well, right? Then we have the tools to do that. Okay, that's all I have to say. It will initialize the budget. Okay, and then finally, I would say that is a closing of the what I want to discuss. And then right now, the state of the module is that it's on the PR. So if you are interested, you can go into this PR. For the PR that I propose to account budgeting, is everything that I have shown and is quite ready to use. So if you have time, please feel free to make some tests, and you can tell me what you need more. Also, we have the extended module that we do a lot more things here, so you can also check it out. Okay, that's it for me, and thank you very much. So let's just code. Let's make Odoo mightier together, one app at a time. Thank you.
Oh, lovely ending slide. Thank you, Kitti. So look, we're going into a break now for 10 minutes, which means two things, right? One is that people may go and have a break. The other thing means that people who do want to stick around, we do have some time for a few questions, maybe for a couple of minutes. So I do have a question here for you from Stefan. Well, first of all, he has a compliment. He says that your widget, and I saw when he wrote that, and that there was when you were showing the little graph widget that you have in the budget control there. But he's asked, can you show the records behind a budget control sheet and a budget commitment? What do those records look like?
Yeah. Actually, I have to say that we have the budget control, budget commitment objects separately. It's like a new source of the amount that we use in budget MS Builder. Yes, technically I would say yes, but I just didn't make the screen for that yet. So it could be easily done, similar to what we have done in budget items. For the budget items, Stefan already have it. So we also can see the inside. But for the budget commitment, I think we have the object, but we just have to make a menu for it. That's all. If it's needed, it can be done. Yep. Hopefully I answered the question.
He's just followed up. Is that what you're showing in the pivot table?
Yeah. So actually, when we use together with MS Builder, I didn't have time to show, but in fact, everything will show up in the MS Builder report as well. But at the same time, we see that the pivot table will be more detailed, so we create another view that make it as a pivot table. But we use the MS Builder because we think that first of all, I think it's fast, right? So we check budget. We want to make sure it's fast. Second, we want to make sure that the things we did is accurate, according to MS Builder at least, so that anything that we build up, we check the things against the MS Builder as well. And thank you for MS Builder. It's made our work easier. Thank you, Stefan.
Well, Kitti, thank you for your presentation. It was certainly very interesting in terms of some of the things we can do with budgeting. I do have one question for you around budgeting. So, and it's an interesting question. I only ask you this because I also know that you're a little bit involved in the operating unit repositories as well. Where do you see the line between analytic account style budgeting and implementing operating units in terms of organizations, or are they completely unrelated?
Actually, it can work together. I have to say that if you look into the extended module link that I have, we also have the budget control and the documents for every document for the operating unit as well. So what I am trying to say is that everything we did is simple. We just want to make sure that all the transaction budget move and all the budget move have all the dimension that everyone wants. Like we have analytic accounts, we have operating units, we have the module that do the budgeting by activities. We have it there. So every dimension that you see on the screen, it already read out into the budget moves. And then at the end of the day, you have a really, really detailed and powerful budget monitoring report. That's all the idea.
Excellent.
Which way answer your question? Okay. Okay, I will put the links for both the PR
So yeah, just go and put those links up on Discord. Looks like there's lots of interest across all the attendees in terms of that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. For everybody here, we're just going to take a break for 10 minutes. So sorry, Kitti, you were saying something?
Oh, just want to say thank you, Graham, also for having me today. Thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome.